Hey guys, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. So it's Thursday, and every Thursday on this channel, we talk into the Badlands. So today, we're going to talk about my favorite character on this show and why. But here's the thing. I can't just talk about my favorite character. You got to kind of set this up. So what I'm about to say next is important, so come here. So here's the thing. One of the things that Into the Badlands does very, very well is it really does give us really interesting characters to follow and connect with on this show. And what I love about it is none of the characters feel like show devices, so to speak. Like if we were talking movies, a lot of times you'll have a character in a movie that's a plot device. They're just there to move the story along. But one thing that this show does that I think is really important is how well it develops and creates characters that are really central to the story as a whole, or to what's going on in the dynamics of the Badlands as a whole. It really does a good job of creating characters that you can connect with and that feel important or central to all that's going on. So that said, who is my favorite character? Now, I always shy away from this question, and I do get it quite a lot because I'm such a berserker for this show. It is an amazing show. And obviously, if you're here and you've seen it, you know that. And if you've not seen enough of it, then you need to start watching it because you will get hooked. So, I love them all, man. I mean, really, I do. I love Baji. I love Sunny. I love Tilda. I love the Widow. I love Lydia. I love Moon. I love Cressida. I loved Quinn. I loved Waldo as well. That feels like a cop-out, but it's the truth, man. There is something about each character in this show that I love. But if I had to name number one, who is my favorite? Woo, man, it's hard. It's rough. It's rough. Wait a minute. Give me a moment. Well, actually, you guys, it's easily stated. It's the Widow or Minerva. Now, she didn't turn out to be my number one character initially. Initially, my number one character, probably like a lot of you guys, was Sunny. But as I watched the development of Minerva's character from season 1 to season 3, like the arc, her story, what happens with her, and how we see her in the beginning, and how she changes to where she is at this point in season 3, especially with where she is now in season 3, and it looks like she has gotten the dark gift back, has been so fascinating. But one of the best things that I have really loved about her character is to see her kind of be introspective and look at herself and really kind of question what's going on with the objective that she had previously. Now, we don't know what's going to happen now that she apparently has gotten a dark gift back, but her whole idea of transforming the state of the Badlands, kind of getting rid of the barony structure and really creating a Badlands that's equal, where people are free to kind of do as they please, with her starting with that idea and struggling for people to take hold of that idea. Now think about that, because that's a super radical idea, because the structure of the Badlands is one where the barons do not want to give up their barony, because that is ultimate power in the Badlands. But she is questioning that structure herself, and she wants to change the dynamics of that. Now, what's interesting about that is while that is her main goal, she also exercises some of the rights of the barony that she would not have had she not been a baron. And it's a little bit ironic, because the whole idea is to get rid of the structure of kind of servitude in the Badlands. So to see her character grow and develop, and to see her fight for position, fight for strength, because the other barons don't really respect her. And I think in the beginning, she herself is struggling with the power of her position. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that she's not confident, because she does come off as confident and very competent as a baron. That's one of the things I love about the show too. I just have to say that the powerful female in this show is absolutely established, and that's one of the things that makes the show so amazing. So all of that is there. This is not a matter of her confidence, or this is not a matter of her competence. She shows both of those from the beginning of the show in season 1. But I do think she begins to question her place in the barony, as everyone else does. And we hear it all the time, that people don't respect her. When she's talking to Teague, her old baron, she says that they recognize me, Teague. And when she makes comments like that in the beginning, I think that those comments are for herself as well. For her realizing that she has a place at the table, that she should be there at the table. So I think that she has a little conflict there. I think that she goes back and forth in the beginning really kind of reconciling with herself the legitimacy of her barony. That's my personal opinion. You guys know the comments are below if you disagree with me. So to see her start in that place, and then to see her move the needle as she kind of goes through and is moving along with her whole objective to change the state of the Badlands, and people are questioning her along the way, saying, listen, your tactics are just as bad as theirs. And she begins to really think about that. And then we start to see the arc of what's happening with her, how she transitions from being here to really starting to think about, is what I'm doing really helping or hurting people? So to see her character move the needle all along and to develop into something different, into something new, and then finally when we get to the end of season 3, she is really thinking, probably now, anyway, we don't know what she's thinking actually, but she probably will transition away from that. That's my idea, that whole objective of really kind of cleansing the Badlands of the barony, because I do believe that the Master is going to give her a larger mission. But to see her change, to see her character arc, to start from here, to start to really question what she's doing and if this is the right tactic, as people begin to kind of rail against her in her own mission, is interesting to see. So she's just been a fascinating character. Now we could talk about all the other things for her. I just love her, the optics of her character, or how they have portrayed her character, how they have her dressed in black, how they have a fighting style that's so fitting with the type of personality that she is. It's one of the most amazing things about this show. Every part of the character crafting is, to me, meticulously done to represent who it is that we're seeing on screen. And I said this before in other videos. So when we look at Minerva, let's look at Minerva. Come here again. Well, let's look at Minerva when we look at her and her fighting style. When we look at her personality on screen, and she kind of has a sleek kind of the word sensual comes to mind, but I don't mean that in the sense of sensual in terms of kind of trying to pull you in, but there is kind of a sexiness about her, and I don't even mean that in the term of sexiness as it relates to sexiness. It's just kind of the sleekness. Somebody help me with wording in the comments below. I think you guys get the drift, but everything is designed around that. Her sleek black outfits. And I did a video a while ago looking at the costume design and how well they fit the different characters. So all of that. But the weapons that they give her, her fighting style, which is fast and precision driven, with the daggers, with the butterfly stars and the straight swords that separate into two. All of that stuff so well crafted around her character to make her so interesting. And this is why I say, and I get pumped, man, because it's so unique, the different elements of this show that make it so good. And I wonder how much people realize that. I'm not sure if people realize the small details that give the overall satisfaction of watching a show like this. So when we see a character like Minerva, I really love her. I always jokingly say that she is my TV wife. I love this character for so many different reasons. Not only do I think that she looks beautiful on screen, but I think that just her character overall is such an attractive and appealing character, and it's a really interesting character within the scope of what's going on in the Badlands. So now I feel like getting off on one of the things I love about the show, which is the diversity in the show. I'll save that for another video. But having said all of that, that is my favorite character in the show. The Widow, or Minerva, is my favorite character in the show. And now, like, I'm super geeked, I'm amped, because we see her in a new color now after the encounter with the Master. And if you guys haven't seen that video where we got the new footage, I'll try and remember to link that up. I'll put a card up right now for it as well. I'll try and link it at the end of the video. So now we see her in a different color. Now remember what I just said before about the central importance of the color that they had her in before and how they dressed her. But now it's a little bit different. Now it's, oh man. So there is transformation. Again, we are continuing to see her story arc, continuing to see her story change as she apparently will embrace a new outlook, a new future. And just to look and follow her with all of that is just going to be super exciting. And with everybody, really, because this whole story or this whole dynamic with Pilgrim really is going to turn things on their head. And the word that I'm getting is we're actually going to get an expansion of the world. We're moving even further out from the Badlands. and really getting more experiences, more encounters with stuff that's going on beyond the Badlands, which is just expanding the show. Man, I wish the show would get like a 10-year run. That's really what I think. The potential for growth in the show is so huge. I'm getting off track again. That's not the topic of this video. I do realize that. Pardon me, man. You guys know I get excited about this. So she is my favorite character. I would love to know who your favorite character is. Let's be fair. Now, I restricted myself to one, and she definitely is my favorite character. Like, I have some that are right here, and she's right here, but she is just a cut above the rest. But I could talk about the other characters as well. So who is your favorite character? Who gets you excited about this show when you see them on screen? When I see her all the time on screen, I'm like, it's the Widow. She gets me excited, man. I love watching her performance. I think that she's just so amazing in the role, and we definitely are trying to interview her. I'm trying. Whew, I don't know how to get a hold of her, and she's probably super busy. All these guys are super busy. So whenever you see an interview on the show with Sherman or Daniel, these guys have taken time out of their schedule to be on with us, and it is really just mind-blowing, considering we are fans of the show, and they've done this. Is just so amazing. That said, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this. If you are new here and you love Into the Badlands, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. As far as I'm concerned, we have the best Into the Badlands community on YouTube, and it is a mission of this channel to support and grow community around this show on YouTube. Guys, thank you so much. Please, let's give this as many likes as we can. I just read something about YouTube liking that, so that's great, and that tells me that this video was helpful and that you guys like it. Share as well, and as always, let's get into it in the comments. Thanks, guys, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.